Women are so confusing. I just don't understand what they actually want in a man, what they're actually attracted to. This might seem similar to you, man, or maybe you've thought something similar to this. Like, a woman will say one thing and then do a complete other thing, and we almost don't even know what they're actually into. But today I'm actually just going to break down what a woman's perfect man would be. Now, this is obviously going to be the majority of women, the mass appeal, not every single woman is going to have the same type of guy, but looks, in my opinion, is more objective rather than subjective. Personality is subjective. Like, if a woman is really into like a certain, like, let's say Harry Potter, and then she finds a man who is attractive and also into Harry Potter, like he's just as obsessed as she is, this is going to give him huge brownie points as opposed to the handsome man who's not obsessed with Harry Potter. Like, there is some subjectiveness when it comes to personality, but with looks, it's really not, man. So without further ado, let's get into the perfect man. Men love to make fun of women who wear makeup, for example, and because they look like they're trying too hard, and then they'll say that they love a no makeup look, and then the woman is still wearing makeup, for example, and it takes her like 30 minutes or so just to put on this makeup that you guys think is completely natural. The reason that you think that this is more attractive is because men and women, humans, we all love effortlessness. Like, we get very triggered whenever women don't like it, whenever a man makes it too obvious the work that he puts into himself to look a certain way, but it's just humanity, man. Nobody likes a tryhard, so you need to ascend and then forget. So that's the first thing, man. The woman loves a guy who is nonchalant, a guy who is effortless, a guy who has everything on this list, but it seems like he doesn't fully recognize these things that he has. Even if you've got the biggest ego in the world, it's going to be more beneficial for you in your dating life to try to keep that on the down low. Don't talk about your own accomplishments. Don't talk about how amazing you are, even if you are. Things like this, or just obviously, oh, I work out so much. I work out every day of the week just to look like this, have this body. These are try hard things, man. You want to make it seem as effortless as possible. That's the first thing that they're attracted to. Up is going to be height. Now, there's a huge debate with this, obviously, online and just everywhere, man. It seems like you guys don't know what the perfect height is. So Bumble did a study, and the majority of women swiped their filters to 6'6". This was the most attractive height. You could say, oh, Austin, just because you're 6 foot. No, this is the study. Like, I've shown you guys this study time and time again, but just for some nuance, we'll say the most attractive height, the most attractive height for a man is between 6'3" and 6'6". I think a little bit shorter than that, especially with hyphenation, it's not going to be as crazy. A lot of women, they want a guy that really stands out, and his height just brutally height monks everyone. And from my experience, I've never met a single woman in my entire life say that I'm too tall. Never in my life. It does not happen. And I am an authentic 6'6". I measure myself, but if you do need help, you get the kalosique Phantoms. These will increase your height by nearly 3 inches, 7 centimeters to be exact. 100% genuine leather. Everyone else, my competitors, they're using fake leather. It's bullcrap, man. This is real, genuine leather, handcrafted by artisans, and this is a limited batch. So if you want to copy yours, everything that you see on my website, that is the last for those sizes until I restock. But yeah, go to my website, kalosique.com, to cop those, as well as my supplements like Aries Rage and Titan Growth. These customers get insane results whenever they take these. Also, join my school. Link is in the description. Face seem to have a lot of debate as well. So a lot of guys are like, oh, I think women are more attracted to pretty boys. Oh, they're more attracted to the hyper masculine Chad. I think the most attractive archetype is very simple. It's the guy who's, whenever he's younger, let's say 20 to 40, he looks more like a pretty boy. I think Brad Pitt is a good example of this. Henry Cavill, when they were younger, they had more softer, delicate features, and as they get older, they grow into their mature features, like having a strong brow ridge, having strong defined zygos, cheekbones, having a strong jawline. Things like this are very attractive with the face. So if you can pull off the archetype to where like you casually get more masculine with age, so those features, dense eyebrows, a good dense hairline, Norwood 0 to Norwood 2, that's going to be the most attractive hairline as well. Clear skin, typically hunter eyes, and positive canthal tilt, but that's not going to be the end of the world. Canthal tilt, I would say, is more important than the actual eye shape itself, so be careful with that one as well. Like a good example of this is it can just be a range. It could be Alain Delon, it could be Robert Pattinson. Really, there's not that many rules for attraction as long as you do have some feminine qualities, you know, like longer hair, long eyelashes, thick, dense eyebrows, things like this, just to contrast like your masculine features. You will look very attractive to 99% of women. Like, they prefer a large array of different men. Like, as long as you're good looking, man. The most ideal body. So they've done lots of studies on this. So the most ideal would be Brad Pitt in Fight Club. I think this is the most ideal according to 99% of women. Now, if we wanted to break it down even more so to a science, I do think that he's a little bit too lean in that. I think it's the way his physique looks, like the effortlessness with it. But that's the thing. Once again, they don't want a guy who looks like he spends 12 hours a day in the gym. They don't want a beefed out, steroid headed guy. Really, what most women want is a guy at his max genetic peak potential of an additional 40 to 50 pounds from his base frame at a low body fat percentage. So let's say 10 up to 15% body fat. That's going to be the most ideal, man. So just try to add as much muscle everywhere besides some of the less aesthetic places. Like, I think traps can actually ruin your look a little bit. Definitely work on the neck, wide shoulders. You want a strong shoulder to waist ratio. Having wider clavicles is going to be more attractive. Having a slim waist. Legs is not crazy important, but some toning will be more beneficial than obviously just having stick legs. A strong B-taper Dorito back. Like, things like this are going to be very, very attractive. If you need some reference, Brad Pitt in the movie Fight Club, or Brad Pitt in the movie Troy, where he's a little bit bigger. But in real life circumstances, each one will be perceived as just a little bit smaller. So I would say almost go for the bigger one. And if you are natural, it's kind of difficult to overdo it and look too big. How do you guys think that women are attracted to, like, the super extroverted guy, or even like the quiet, strong guy? You know what they're mostly attracted to? It's social intelligence. It really doesn't matter if you're introverted, if you're extroverted. If you know how to read people, like if you're in a conversation, you know how to properly conversate, you know what question to ask at the appropriate time, you know body language cues, you know the basics, and not just the basics, like you're very intelligent socially. I don't know what it is, but women are very, very drawn to this. So, like, if you have a strong, keen on social awareness, this is like 10 out of 10, like one of the most attractive things you can have as a man. Having that while also having some ability to be mysterious. Now, the mysterious factor really doesn't matter what archetype you're even going for. Like, if you're going for more like the golden retriever, old money boy, or even like the mysterious bad boy, mysteriousness is always going to be attractive. So obviously not having them know the entire life story. That's why most people are so boring. Like, first of all, you got to have a cover that intrigues people. And most people don't even have a cover that intrigues them. So if you do everything else up to this step, they'll be very intrigued by the cover. But if it's not just boring, but if it's too easy to read, it's going to be less attractive. Like, even if you do have a more boring, low-key life, I want you to convey it in a way that leads to more mystery. Like, don't just spill all your guts, spill all the beans about everything that you have going on in your entire life. Leave some things to the imagination, leave some things to mystery, and this will just create more intrigue. This one is seemingly getting less and less important, but I do think it is still important. If you have everything else in this video, but you don't have this, honestly, you'll still have a very strong dating life. But this will help, especially for long-term relationships, making at least $100,000. So this is more for the first world countries. Let's say you're in Europe, America, Canada, Japan, Korea. Making 100,000 USD per year is obviously going to be the best thing when it comes to your dating life. And just having more resources. This is like kind of the bare minimum these days, but this will allow you to kind of travel more. You can take more trips. You don't have to be penny pinching all the time. Depends on where you live, obviously. If you live in New York City, 100,000 is like nothing, you know, like, but if you live in Texas, 100,000 can get you pretty far. So it depends on where you live as well. PP size. There's a lot of debate to the proper PP size. So I've done a lot of research on this one, and I think I found the conclusive answer. So a lot of studies will show that women prefer 6.3 to 6.5 for either long-term relationships, 6.3, or 6.5 for short-term hookups. But we got to account for it's a survey. A lot of women could just be potentially lying. And I've seen some studies say that some women aren't even satisfied unless they have 8 inches inside of them. Like, there are a large range of different studies. By the way, 8 inches is 1 out of 1,000 men. This is a 0.01% man. Like, that is crazy. To have 8 inches is a very, very rare statistic. And by the way, a lot of you guys are not measuring properly. It's supposed to be from the base all the way to the tip. So measure properly before you get too involved in this part of the video. Just to be safe, let's say the most ideal range for you is going to be 6.5 to 8 inches. If you're above that, there's not much you can do, but some girls might just be frightened. It's going to be harder to fully satisfy them just because it could be more painful. So I think 6.5 to 8 is probably going to be the golden ideal range. By the way, the average is 5 to 5.5 on the worldwide scale. I think 5.5 is closer to the Western averages. So if you are just above that, even by an inch, I think that's very, very good. And if you're below that, I would recommend losing body fat and starting your PP pump journey. That will be the best thing you can do. Fashion is not crazy, actually. The goal here is just to have one. So care about your fashion. Put effort into the way you look. Please don't go out wearing a 1990s college basketball t-shirt just because it's not fashion. You're supporting this team that you might not have even gone to this school. Like, I want you to put a little bit of effort, whether it's tailored suits, whether it's all black, whether it's old money, whether it's just preppy, whatever it is, just make it something. Having a strong social life, so family, friends, these things. A lot of women don't like a man who's completely isolated. Not as important for definitely not important for short-term hookups, but for long-term relationships, I would say it is. Last but not least is going to be the most attractive male hobby. So this is just going to be a hunger to learn. So whether you're reading books, learning foreign languages, you are traveling, you are trying new things, trying new exotic foods, going to new exotic places, whatever it is, this is the most attractive thing. Not fighting, not playing video games, not comic books. This is the most important thing. A willingness and an eagerness to learn more and to live life to the fullest. But that's it, man. Subscribe if you are new. I love you guys with all my heart. Peace.